Some of the biggest food makers here in the United States understand that people want to be healthier. We're a little more conscious about what we put on our bodies. We don't want preservatives. We don't want artificial flavors. We certainly, according to all the commercials out there today, we do not want high fructose corn syrup. So they make it a point to tell us that they're preservative-free, artificial flavor-free, high fructose corn syrup-free. But are they? According to investigations, usually not as much as they claim to be. And I've got Scott Hardy from Top Class Actions with me now to tell us exactly what's happening with some of these products. Scott, topclassactions.com. You've had two great stories just in the last couple days here. One about Capri Sun, one about Ocean Spray. Both of these products are out there trying to say we're better. You know, we don't have the preservatives. We don't have the artificial flavorings in there. Not exactly what the investigations are finding with these products, is it?
Right. It's interesting with the Capri Sun class action, they're saying that they're preservative-free when in fact they're using citric acid. And so it's interesting when you look at the Capri Sun class action saying it's preservative-free. Citric acid is the preservative they're using in there. But another company was already dinged by the FDA for saying that their drink was preservative-free. The FDA already said, no, citric acid is a preservative. You can't claim that, but Capri Sun is doing exactly that. So to say that this class action has legs is an understatement. They're going to have to change how they're marketing these things because people are giving their kids Capri Sun drinks thinking that they're a good drink for lunches, a good drinks for after athletic activities and that kind of thing. But they're not knowing that citric acid is actually a preservative and is not natural.
Right, and Capri Sun's been trying to say, well, it's for the flavor. You know, we want that citric acid flavor because, yes, citric acid, it's found in a lot of citrus fruits. It's used in the cheese making process in many instances here. But according to the amount of citric acid in the Capri Suns, they've found that there is no way this could be for flavoring. It is 100% being used as a preservative to prevent microbial life forms from forming in there, bacteria, anything like that. This is meant to kill off the bad things, not to give the drink more flavor. So Capri Sun's argument, you know, what you told us about the FDA saying, no, this is a preservative, we have precedent, and then, you know, based on the sampling amount in there, their argument falls apart immediately upon any kind of scrutiny here, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does. And then you have the other class action against Ocean Spray, which is saying that malic acid and fumaric acid aren't artificial flavors. But the judge has already stated in that class action against Ocean Spray that while malic acid and fumaric acid might not have a specific flavor themselves if you were tasting them naturally or by themselves, when you add them to an existing beverage, it changes the flavor of the beverage itself. And so you can't say that there are no artificial flavors when you're adding something like malic acid, like fumaric acid within this class action, and it does change the flavor profile. I'm actually really impressed by the judge for this lawsuit because you can tell this guy does this research, this woman or man does the research, and they're going into the technical details of what these artificial flavors actually do and how they change the flavor profile of a beverage. You know, it's the science behind it is quite interesting.
You know, I know a lot of people may be looking at this and thinking, well, isn't this kind of frivolous here? You know, I mean, okay, so they've got these other little ingredients in there. Is that really cause for a class action lawsuit going through the courts? Well, the answer is yes, 100%. And here's why. Studies have shown that people are willing to spend a little bit more money if they believe they're buying a product that not only is superior, but that is all natural. So you're causing people to believe that they're making a smarter choice. They're spending more money on something that is almost the equivalent of the the weaker food product, I guess it would be, the drink that doesn't say no artificial flavors. So yes, you're taking away the consumer's right to make an informed decision. And the only way that these companies will ever correct their behavior is to be held liable and have to return the money that they essentially at this point lied to consumers in order to obtain. And that's why suits like this are important, isn't it?
Yes, exactly, because these marketers, these companies are trying to upsell their beverage, they're upselling their products, they're saying things are all natural because they know that consumers will pay top dollar if they think they're getting a little extra benefit, if they think what they're ingesting is a little healthier, then they're absolutely happy to pay an extra 50 cents or $1 per beverage to get something that they believe is better for their body. When in fact, if they were informed and these companies actually labeled their products correctly and legally as they should, consumers wouldn't pay or may not actually pay that extra health tax, as it could be considered, to buy these more expensive beverages when they might not have any extra health benefit over the beverage that's actually cheaper.
Absolutely. There's more information about both of these cases in the description, in the link to this video, links to the topclassactions.com. And Scott Hardy, I just want to say again, I enjoy talking to you, and I love the work that you and the folks at Top Class Actions are doing all the time. I can't say this enough. These are issues that every consumer needs to be aware of. You know, we've got a lot of crazy news happening around the world, but at the end of the day, we also have to understand that it's not just the craziness in politics, it's not foreign policy. We have some very real abuses happening here in the United States, and whether they're large or small, they all come down to companies, corporations, whatever they are, trying to take advantage of consumers. And at Top Class Actions, you all do a phenomenal job of telling these stories every single day. So thank you very much for joining us and telling our audience these stories.
Thank you, Farron. Appreciate your time.